Hello and welcome to today's Power Boost. And today, the topic we are going to talk about is how to bless yourself. Usually, we depend on others to bless ourselves. Either we expect that a higher power will bless us, or um, our parents, or um, somebody who we love will bless us, but we are dependent on outside to get blessings. But in the spiritual understandings of the Brahma Kumaris, this this very sacred art of blessing can be done to ourselves. And how is that possible? Is that just like a blessing indicates good fortune, also leads us to happiness. The same way, if we ground ourselves in our truth, if we create thoughts based on truth, and not just create thoughts, but also become it and act on these thoughts, which are based on truth, then we start to bless ourselves. We create good fortune for ourselves. We guide ourselves and our lives towards a life of happiness and peace. So, what is the spiritual truth that we are talking about? The spiritual truth is the fact that we are living, conscient being, tiny points of light. And our truth is that we are beings of peace, that we are living, that we are immortal, that we are worthy of respect, that we are worthy of love. And our dignity is coming from the fact that we are tiny points of light who are elevated beings, noble beings, who have all that one is looking for already within. The original nature of this tiny point is that he is already full, that he is abundant of everything, and that he is temporarily acting in this world um, as an actor, playing different roles. And if we are not blessing ourselves, which we probably are not at this time and moment and day and age, there is a self talk that goes on in the mind all the time, 24 by 7. We are talking to ourselves. There is something or the other, some commentary going on. And we can choose to make it either positive in the form of blessing, or we can, the other option is always the opposite of blessing. We criticize ourselves or we even curse ourselves. And that criticism or negative feelings and thoughts are coming from a place of ignorance, not knowing ourselves truly, not knowing who we really are, not knowing our truth. And when that happens, we start to see our weaknesses, we start to fear, and we start to come from that space of falsehood, meaning that something that is temporary, we start to base our reality and our thoughts and what we are talking to ourselves based on that temporary um, role that we are playing in this case. So, in order to start blessing ourselves, we have to get into a habit. We can get into a habit where we create these thoughts based on our truth, and to know the truth of who we really are. Understanding who we really are helps in that, creating such thoughts. And to strengthen them, we can experiment with just a 3 day program. We can create a 3 day program for ourselves where we constantly keep reminding ourselves of our truth. And when we do that, then, for example, that I am a being of peace, I am a being who is a point of light, invisible and immortal. I am a point of light, a soul who is beyond harm. And all of those weaknesses that we see are part of the personality or the role that is being played on the stage of this world. And when we can see the two distinctly separate, that the reality of the soul, the invisible being, the one who's immortal, imperishable, different from what is being played as a part on the world stage, then we start to distinguish between the personality of the role and the truth between. So the role might change, just like in a movie, the actor may change the role and the personality and the skills that he has. In one movie may be very different from another movie. Similarly, when we start to see like this, the absolute distinction between the two things, then we start to bless ourselves. And like we said, the more we remind ourselves, maybe just for a minute every hour, in our waking hours at least, if we are able to do this, um, reminding ourselves of our truth, we start to bless ourselves. We start to get away from that self criticism and thoughts of fear and weaknesses that our personality may be having, but that is temporary. Our original nature is not like that. And once we start to remind ourselves for those few minutes every hour, the thought becomes more strong. And once that is strong, we just don't have to keep it at the thought level. We have to bring it into action. So the more we use these thoughts that I am, for example, a being of peace, a being of love, worthy of love and worthy of respect, not coming from a space of arrogance, but coming from truth and our true dignity and self respect, then that is when we start to embody that truth and we start to really bless ourselves. We need to start acting on these thoughts, which are blessings, and we don't have to depend on anyone else outside. Sometimes we even depend on life itself to bless, and we pray and we ask for help. But the greatest truth is that power is within us to bless ourselves, and our life can be forever full of blessings. Once we become uh, bliss, full of blessings for ourselves, that is when we start to very naturally give blessings to others too. Because if we are able to see our truth, then we are able to also see the truth of others. They too are noble beings, elevated beings, points of light, playing different roles, but then the truth and the innate nature of each of these points of light is that they are very, very beautiful beings who are noble and elevated in nature. So let us now start to experiment with this thought of blessing ourselves. And in our meditations, we choose a very easy posture, sitting posture, any sitting posture that you are comfortable with. And just make sure that the body is relaxed and that the breathing is gentle and normal breathing. And just like the mind has the ability to see outside and be aware of things that are outside. Similarly, the mind has the ability to go inwards to become aware of our inner truth. And that truth begins from the real me, the soul. And we use the image of a tiny point of light. This point of light is imperishable, invisible, eternal being. This point of light is a being of peace and happiness. His reality is separate from the act that he's doing on this world stage, on the physical world stage. The invisible point of light is an actor who's temporarily playing a part on the stage of the world. The part has a personality, a character, and that may include some negative habits, some weaknesses, phobias, and philias. But that is part of the temporary character that is being played. The real actor is completely separate and independent from the part that is being played. And we can talk to our minds constantly based on the reality of this actor, the invisible actor, the one who is full, the one who knows that his world is a completely different world from the play world. The stage is different from the home of the actor. And his personality is also very different from what is being played on the stage. His personality consists of the fact that he's eternal, can never die, that he's very safe because he knows that he's beyond harm, that nothing and no one can ever harm him. And this reality brings blessings. He feels blessed being in truth. To know that we are worthy of love because innately there is goodness, nobleness, auspiciousness in our existence. We are benevolent beings who are always working upwards, climbing, ascending. The more we stay in our truth, the more we are able to bless ourselves. And so, for the next 3 days, let us keep this simple aim to remind ourselves of our truth. Just for a few minutes, frequently, let's take up this exercise, maybe every hour. Blessing the self is the highest form of blessing because it's constantly with us. And the more we bless ourselves, others will also want to be in our company because we give them also blessings. We become a gift to this world if we bless ourselves. Om